Hello Year 8. This is Project 2 for Art and Design, and we're focusing on rendering techniques. If you have a look at this first slide, you can see there's a little light bulb round about here next to some red wording. And this is basically what we're going to be dealing with in this PowerPoint. So rendering means how we can make objects seem like they are made out of a particular type of material. So here we go. For this task, what you're going to need is A4 paper, a black biro or a pencil, and they're going to be 30 points that are available for the project. So on the first slide you can see it's entitled Rendering Study Using Texture, Tone and Form, and we've got loads and loads of rectangular boxes on here. Now inside each of these boxes there is a particular texture that's been drawn from something in front of the person. So for example, if we have a look here, there's a hair curl, there's a feather down at the bottom, and there's also a smashed piece of glass. So if you just cast your eyes over quite a few of those, hopefully you should be able to work out which type of object it is that's in there. Now what makes this really effective is that the person has used a black biro or a sharp pencil to make the really dark tones very, very dark. So for example, if we look at this one here, which is wool or rope, you can see that between the strands here it's very, very dark. Now if you do your darks very dark, it's going to make the rest of the image seem like it stands out from the page, and if you can give it that 3D look, we would say then that it was rendered rather than shaded. So let's have a look now at the two tasks that we're going to ask you to do in this unit of work. So on the right hand side of the screen you can see that there are three images. These have just come from Google. One is an image of some bricks, one of water droplets on a window or a piece of glass, and then the bottom one is wood. That's going to be like a stump of a tree with the growth rings, and you can see the splits there through the weathering that's taken place on the wood. There are three boxes on the left hand side: wood, water and brick. And for 15 points, what we'd like you to do is, using the little boxes at the bottom as reference, so you can see here in these little boxes at the bottom, these have been totally filled again with the texture. Can you have a go at trying to shade and render each of the wood, water and brick boxes to make them look like they're made of the actual material? In the yellow box on this slide you can see it says remember to press on with your pen or pencil. You need to be bold, and that will give you then the final 3D element to the image that you're doing. Now let's move on to the next slide. Now this is a practice piece really, so you can see that there are two houses on the right hand side. I've moved on. Two houses on the right hand side of the screen, and then there's a skyline which is over here where all of the buildings have been placed side by side, and they've been rendered using different kinds of patterns. Now if you'd prefer to do your final piece as a whole range of buildings side by side, you could trace them from images off the internet, or you could collage them together and trace around them, then that's totally fine, because the pattern making would be described as rendering as well. Or you could take the outline of one of these buildings that you see here or on the next slide and then decorate them so that inside the buildings you've got these kind of textures that are covering the whole of the building. And then some part of it would be dark and some would be light, and that would be what we would call a rendered piece. Now on the last slide you can see that we've got two images here. If you would like to just use these two drawings to do your rendering on, then that's totally fine, or if you want to do your own drawing, then you would actually get extra marks for doing your own drawing. The final piece here, the building that's got all of the patterning in it, would be worth 15 points. So we hope you have fun with the project, and good luck. Bye bye everyone.